Hello everyone, welcome back to another Facebook Live here at Hobbycraft HQ. We are live at a slightly later slot tonight, so we hope you'll join us because we have lots of really exciting content for you today. So we're joined by our resident Cricut expert Aisha.
Hello.
And we have a really exciting giveaway as well. So we posted about this earlier in the week, and we are actually giving away, as you can see, a Cricut Explore Air 2 alongside accessories as well, and the prize bundle is worth over £350, so you want to get involved definitely. And we're launching it right now, so you can get involved straight away, and all you need to do to enter is answer the following question. The answer will be revealed by Aisha very soon, unless you know it already, but all you need to do is comment on the live stream with your answer. So here goes, this is the question. So what app do the Cricut machines work in conjunction with? So fairly easy, would you say?
I'd say so. Yeah.
So yeah, what app do the Cricut machines work in conjunction with? Comment below with your answer, and we will be picking a winner at completely random, and you could be in with the chance of winning a Cricut Explore Air 2 plus lots of accessories to get started with. So before we get started with today's session, which as you can see is Get Started in Cricut Live, Aisha, give everyone a bit of an overview on what to expect.
So I'm going to be talking through the differences between the Maker and the Air 2, essential tools you need to have, and basics of the Design Space app.
Perfect. So to get you in the mood, we've put together a little video. So please enjoy. We'll see you on the other side. Okay, so we hope you enjoyed that Cricut sort of overview video, and over to you, Aisha, because we're just going to go straight in, aren't we?
Yep. So this machine is the Cricut Explore Air 2. It is great for loads of different projects. So if you're a paper crafter and you like cutting vinyls, it can also cut fabrics on it, which is great. It has handy little storage compartments in down here, so you can also store blades in there. If you've already got some Cricut cartridges, you can pop those in the machine, just in there. This machine even features a smart dial on the this side, and you can twist it to whichever paper or card or fabric setting that you're doing your project with. So that's super easy to use. There's also a custom setting, which I always advise people to use, just because you get a little bit more control of the setting within Design Space. With this machine as well, you can, it's got the premium fine point blade which it comes with, and you can change these blades, so you can, if they need replacing, you can just pop in a new one. So to do that, there's like a little nib on the top, so you just push it down and you can take your blade out. It just pops back in there, and you can also use the deep cut blade housing with this one.
Okay.
So if you're using slightly thicker materials, you can pop that one in, and there's also the pink Cricut bonded fabric blade. So with this machine you can cut fabric, but it's the thinner types of fabric like cotton or like fat quarter fabric, and you just need to make sure that the fabrics are bonded when you put them through your machine, and you also need to use the fabric grip cutting mat.
Perfect.
This machine, like with the Maker, you just get a really handy cubby for putting all your tools. I like to keep my pens in there. I usually keep my tools in there, and it also just folds up like that.
Lovely.
So with this machine you can also use pens, and you can also use scoring stylus. So if you're doing papercraft cards or making gift boxes or anything, you can just pop your scoring stylus in and it will create all the score lines for you, and all you have to do is fold them up and make your gift box.
Perfect.
So that's the Air 2.
Okay.
Then this is the Cricut Maker. This one's my personal favourite. So I have one of these at home. This one is, the main difference is this one has 10 times greater cutting force.
Oh, wow.
So it'll cut thicker fabrics, and it can also cut like basswood or balsa wood as well, up to, I think it's like 2.4 mil, but I can double check on that. And
Very
also,
precise.
Yeah, there's lots of different blades as well you can pop in this machine. So the machine, you'll get the premium fine point blade with it, and it will also come with this amazing rotary blade, which is great for cutting fabrics. So if you like making quilts or clothing for children or bunting, you can do that with the rotary blade. And like with the Air 2, again, it's just a case of, this one's a bit stiffer, so you just pop it in the machine and then do up the clamp. There's also the sort of newish, the new tools. So there's a perforation blade, there's also an engraving tip, so you can engrave into metal and plastic, which is really cool. And there's also the wavy, whoops, caught it just in time. There's also the wavy blade. These ones, along with the debossing tip, which is also really cool, so you can deboss into cardstock and leather, which looks really nice, and foil card is also another good one. These all feature the quick swap housing, so you can interchange the blades, so you can buy one quick swap housing, and then you just need to get the tips for the others.
I see.
So if you want to buy all of them or just one or two of them, you need one housing, and then you can just go for the tips from the others.
Great.
So that's these. And there's also another favourite, I've just started using this a lot, is the knife blade. So that's good for cutting your woods. I've also cut mount board on it, and it's just basically like a craft knife, and you just pop it in and it just does all the work for you. That's a really good one to have. So as with this machine, you also get a really good handy cubby hole, so you can put your pens. I usually put my tools in the front one, and then it's got a handy storage compartment in the front, a little bit where you can put your blades, so they just pop in there. It's also got this handy groove on the front, so if you use the app Design Space on an iPad, you can just pop your iPad in here, which is really helpful, so you can keep an eye on it whilst it's cutting.
Great.
Also, if your iPad's losing charge, it's got a USB port on the side, so it'll charge it whilst you do it,
very
which is really good. Or if you've got the Bright Pad, like we've got, just grab it from the side here, you can plug your Bright Pad in, and it's powered off through your Maker, which
amazing.
is super handy.
Fantastic.
So they're the main, I'll just unplug that so we don't trip over. So they're the main differences. The machines come with mats. So the Maker, you get a fabric grip mat and a light grip cutting mat. So I've got some of these here. So your light grip mat is blue. Use this for more delicate materials like paper, tissue paper. I have also used vinyls on this. This is my go-to mat for projects. And then your fabric grip mat, so for fabrics. And then with this one, I'm going to test my knowledge now, I believe you get the blue and the green, I want to say. So the green is your standard grip mat, so for slightly heavier weights of cardstock, thicker vinyls like glitter iron-on, infusable ink, I also use on this one. And then if you're cutting thicker fabrics, you can buy the strong grip one, which is purple. That you'd use on the wood. It's slightly thicker than the other mats because of the pressure needed to cut the materials. So that's a good one to have in your craft stash. You can also get these mats in 12 by 24 inches, so if you like working with bigger projects, you can create them on those.
Perfect. So we've had lots of questions obviously come in before we went live, because we asked you guys what you wanted to know. So hopefully that has helped you a little bit with kind of distinguishing between the two machines, because there were lots of people just not really sure which one to purchase really, and you get that question a lot, don't you?
Yeah, so it's not really a cut and dry answer. It depends on what you want to craft and what you craft currently. So for example, if you just want to do vinyl work or cut stickers, make cards or scrapbooks, I would go for the Explore Air 2, whereas if you think you're going to be doing more projects that use different materials like wood, or you want to cut leather or experiment with debossing, engraving, then I would go for the maker. But it really does depend on what you think you're going to be using the machine for.
Perfect. So that's a great tip for you if you are considering purchasing one of the machines. And of course we have our Get Started In page.
Yes.
So obviously we are live now, but we have lots of resources available via Get Started In Cricut, and that's got a handy guide as well, hasn't it, between the two machines?
So there's a table on there and it tells you the different, or tick box on what's different between the machines.
Exactly.
You can also pop into store and ask our colleagues in store. They'll know the difference. In our custom crafting stores, we've also got both machines, so you can try before you buy and have a little play as well with that. See how the app works with the machines.
Okay.
So you can really see which one's best for you.
Perfect. So what are we going on to next, Aisha?
So I was going to talk through tools that are essential for your when you're getting started.
Yeah.
So Cricut do a basic tool set, which I always recommend people have. It has everything you need to get started.
Yeah.
So most importantly, it's got a really good pair of scissors, which are really sharp. So be careful when you're using it, and it comes with a little cover.
Great.
Really cute little scraper tool. So they're in lovely colours on the top as well, which is nice for the craft room. So you can scrape on your vinyl or cardstock onto your mats, because you need to make sure there's good contact there.
Yeah.
So when it goes through the machine, it doesn't move. There's also this handy little, looks like a pizza slice. So it's called the spatula tool. So when it comes to removing your cuts from your mat, you can just gently slide it under your mat and it will release the cut. And then the weeder tool, this looks a bit like a dentist instrument. This is for primarily for weeding out vinyls. I also use it if you're cutting something quite intricate with paper. You can just poke out the little bits, but you weed out the negative areas of your image you don't want with this little guy.
Right.
And then there's a handy pair of tweezers, which you can never have enough tweezers.
Great.
So no matter whether you get the Explore Air 2 or the Maker, I would definitely recommend that set. There's also, just because I do a lot of paper crafts, the scoring stylus, which I would recommend. This works in both machines. You can also get the scoring wheel for the Maker, but I would, if you're doing a lot of scoring projects, or if you're going to score on slightly thicker materials, I'd recommend getting the scoring wheel combo pack for the Maker. But this one, again, like the pens, it's got a handy little arrow on. Can't talk. Got a little arrow on, so you know which way to pop it in. You just place it in and then close the clamp, and it's exactly the same. So it's really easy to use, and your machine will tell you when you need to add this in. So that's another one of my must-haves. And then final one, if you're working on lots of big projects, so you're using large sheets of cardstock like A3, or you're using a big sheet of vinyl, this is like amazing. It saves so much time. You just get too excited. You just scrape it across, and it just makes things quicker, and it's a nice colour, which is
great.
Yeah.
So you've answered a lot of people's questions there. So we had some come in on Instagram stories as well. So that was Ruth, who asked what are the must-have accessories for the Maker. Sarah Louise, who said how do you start? So hopefully we're starting to answer these questions. We were absolutely inundated, so do bear with us. We're going to try and get through as many, but I'm pretty sure, Aisha, you're going to sort of cover them as you go along. But yeah, don't forget, for the people who haven't entered yet, we have our giveaway, which is our Cricut Explore Air 2 plus accessories worth £350. All you need to do is let us know in the comments what the app is that you use in conjunction with your Cricut machine. Okay, so let's move on then.
Yeah, so with the machines, you get the you need to download the Cricut Design Space app. So that works with the machine. So the software is what you use to design your projects.
Okay.
So you can just download this onto your desktop. If you've got an iPhone or Android device, iPad, any device basically, you can download it onto. I've got a laptop here, so I'm just going to talk you through Design Space and show you what it looks like. Yep. If you use Design Space on an iPad or an iPhone or mobile device, it will look slightly different, just because obviously you've got less space to work with, but all the functions are the same.
Yep.
And they're also, so like if you're using the knife blade on the Maker, you will need a desktop to do that at present. So to get that app, it's completely free. You can download it from iTunes or App Store. For desktop, you just type Cricut Design Space into your search engine, and it'll take you through to the website, and they'll show you how to download it.
Okay. And you're using a laptop. We had a question about whether you recommend a certain make of laptop or...
I'm a bit biased.
Okay.
I prefer Macs personally, but it is personal preference. I know some people prefer PCs to Macs. As well, if you design a lot of your, if you want to design a lot of your own projects, like designs, and then upload them into Design Space, I find Macs easier to work with, like Illustrator and things like that. But it is personal preference. If you're used to using a PC and then you go to a Mac, it might be a bit jarring. But yeah, I prefer.
Cool. Good to know.
So once you've signed up for your Design Space account, you can start. This is a blank canvas on screen here. So you've got your images, your text, and there's just open the shapes. So you've got basic shapes in here: squares, triangles. So I'll just click on a square, and it'll load the design in. And you can make this any size you like. If you so it will resize proportionally, which is super handy. But if you want to make it into a rectangle, you just unlock this padlock, and you can change the width and height independently. You can also, up here, you can change if you can draw it if you'd like to use one of the pens on the machine, or you can score. So that will automatically, so now I've told that to score, it will tell the machine once we go through to the make screen
Perfect.
how to do that. So that's the shapes one, and then there's the images one. There's like thousands of images on Design Space. So for instance, you can search anything. So what shall we search? Let's do flowers. So just type flower in, and you've got all these different designs pop up. Can't go down, there we go. So scrolling down. So let's, for instance, I want to use this one and this one. So you just click on them to select them. You'll see them pop up down here, and you just insert images into your canvas. And then you can, again, like with the shapes, you can resize them. These ones, so I tend to lay quite a lot of flowers on top of each other. So if I want that underneath and that on top. The colours within Design Space, so they'll cut from different materials. So if you wanted to use 2 different colours of cardstock or vinyl, this will cut from 2 different colours. Or if you want it from the same colour, just pop up here and change colour, and that will cut from the same colours. So there's lots of different things. I'd definitely say if you're thinking of getting a machine, register for a Design Space account, and then you can go on, have a play with it, see how you get on with the software, like its capabilities. Are you going to be able to do what you want?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, because it's completely free to sign up, and you can start designing projects before you get the machine. Which
Amazing.
is quite nice. So get your machine and you'll be ready to go. There are also pre-made projects within Design Space, so you can just click on whichever one you fancy. You can either click make it if you want it exactly as it is, or you can customize. So there are lots of different, again, hundreds of different projects you can do, from baby grow things to wedding table place settings. So yeah, it's great for lots of different things. And then you can add your own text. Yeah, there's so much. I could stand here for ages.
I know. I could watch for ages. So we've actually had quite a few Design Space specific questions. So shall I fire away?
Yeah.
Okay, so hello to Bev, who says, I use the app on my iPad. Is there any way to copy a design or part of a design from one project canvas into another?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Okay.
The way I get around it is if I want to use similar elements, I'll save as the project. So keep the project you have saved, and then do a save as and put like V2 or something on the end, and in the V2 just delete out the bits you don't want. So then you've copied it across.
Yeah.
Just make sure you save the original.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that might not be so good.
Okay, great tip. So hello to Gemma, who says, on Design Space, is there any way to draw individual cut lines or a way to draw freehand, not just using the preset shape options?
So for freehand, I would say it's best to do that in a software like Illustrator. and then you can upload that into the app.
Okay.
So did she ask about font? Sorry, about drawing just the line.
Draw individual cut lines, yeah.
So I just get individual. So with writing, you can draw an individual line.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go into text, let's just type in hello, and then in the fonts on filter, handy tip, there's an option for writing.
Okay.
And so like if we click that one, it'll just write.
Okay.
And it'll say on there writing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that way around it. Or if you input a shape again, like we did with a square, you can do it with a circle, and you just change it to draw. Taking a little while. There we go. So again, just press the remote. Just go to draw, and you'll just get that.
Okay. Perfect. So we've had another question from Trisha who says, do I need to pay for a font every time I use it to write?
No, so once you've purchased a design in Design Space, it's yours for as long as you have the account, so you don't need to purchase it every time.
Okay.
In Design Space there's Access, which is like a monthly subscription.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about £7, which is, if you're going to be using a lot of images and fonts and projects, I recommend signing up to it because I use it so much. Or you can pay for them individually if you think you're only going to be using the odd bit, but it'll say on everything if there's a fee to pay, and there are free fonts and images in there, so there's lots of projects you can still create.
Perfect. And the final one that I can see here that's Design Space specific is from What Lid Did on Instagram. So why does the pen function draw around letters instead of just drawing the lines?
So that's kind of linked into what I've just shown on the text here, so I'll just get rid of this. So whenever you choose a font, again, make sure it's on that writing filter, because then you will just get the like single line ones. The ones where it draws around, I think it's because it's a thicker letter. Let's just try with this. Oh, there you go. So you've got the single lines.
Mm-hmm.
So if I take that filter, let's clear those filters. Let's go for, well, there's so many to choose from, I don't know which one to go for. Let's go for this one. So yeah, that's regular. So and that will change to draw. So with this one, it will just go around the outside. But once it's drawn it, you can colour it in, which is quite therapeutic.
Okay.
Which it's quite nice. I like to do that. But yeah, just make sure go to your filter and make sure writing is selected, and you'll get all the right fonts come up.
Perfect. And another one from Catherine who says, I would like to cut on newsprint paper. What settings would you apply, or is there a preset that I could use?
I've been having a look and I can't see a preset, but I would definitely recommend using the blue light grip cutting mat.
Okay.
If it's a new one, just because it's quite sticky, I just put a sheet of cardstock on it and just put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, just to get rid of some of the tackiness of it.
Mm-hmm.
But for newsprint, I can show you what's beyond the canvas screen, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go press and make it. So then you'll be taken through to a preview screen, and we'll hit continue, and it will connect to your machine. So as I mentioned earlier, I'd recommend having the dial on your Explore Air 2 to custom. Obviously the maker doesn't have a dial, so this screen will automatically come up.
Okay.
But if you can see on my screen, when I've turned the dial and it's on one of the presets on the dial, it disappears.
Yeah.
So, and then it pops up again. So you can click Browse All Materials, and it comes up with a nice long list of all the different materials it can cut. So
Wow, there's so many.
Yeah, there's loads on there. Anything with a Cricut C is a Cricut material. So that's been tried and tested, and you can favourite different ones, which is
perfect.
really handy. So if you find you're using more premium vinyl than anything else, you can favourite it, and it will just come up in your favourites.
Oh, great.
On the screen, which so you don't have to go through this. Right. So if we go to, let's find it. It's in alphabetical order. So paper. Copy paper is one I would try, because it's not a it's not a Cricut fabric or material. I would try a few test cuts and just to see which works best. So maybe try the copy paper one, or there's the light pattern paper as well. And then once you've found what works for you, you can they've written it, and it will always be there then.
Perfect. Okay, so speaking of materials then, we've had a question on Instagram from Little Bow Valley who asks, is it only iron-on vinyl that can be used with fabrics?
Yes, yeah, so with fabric, actually I've got some iron-on here. So there's loads of different iron-ons you can get to put on fabrics. There's also the infusible ink, which you can use with the t-shirts, the infusible ink t-shirts and coasters and tote bags and things, so there's that option as well. But there's so many different, I mean the glitters are my favourite, but there's holographic, you can get matte ones, there's the really cool Sport Flex ones, so if you're putting things onto stretch tops, they'll stretch with your fabric, which is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so it is just iron fabric.
Fantastic, and hello to Left-Handed Blonde on Instagram as well, and this is more of a question or troubleshooting question. So she says, I can never seem to get my paper and card off either my blue or green cutting mat. Help, she says.
Yeah, I have that problem. It's when your mats are super sticky.
Yeah.
Again, I always put like a thicker cardstock on first, put it on, take it off, on, just to get rid of some of the tack. Again, another way of doing it, this spatula tool is really handy just for releasing the top edge, and then instead of having the mat down and peeling your project off that way, have it the mat face down and peel the mat away from your project, and just do it really slowly. But yeah, I always find that adding the cardstock on and off again just to release some of the tack usually does the job.
Great. Okay, so obviously, guys, we've had so many questions and we probably got a few more in the comments, but we are going to be running out of time soon. So something that is super exciting, though, is that Aisha is going to be on Instagram straight after this, which is crazy, but we're doing our first Instagram Live. So search Hobbycraft HQ on Instagram and do join us there. Don't forget to hit the follow button as well, because we have lots of more Cricut inspiration over on Instagram. There was one other thing about Design Space.
Yes.
You had a bit of a public service announcement.
Just want to make sure that if you have Design Space and you use it on your desktop, to make sure you have downloaded the new desktop version app. I've got the date written down so I don't get it wrong. Well, the 29th of January, just because it's moving over to this new app, which means you can use Design Space offline, which is really, really exciting. You can also open up multiple tabs, so you can work on more than one project at once. Again, really good feature. And gosh, my mind's gone blank now. And you can, it'll also update automatically. That was a key thing for me, because I always forget to update it and I'm working on the wrong one and I'm like, why aren't things working? So yeah, make sure you are updated.
Yep, sounds like a good plan. Okay, so of course we have I'm going to mention it for the final time, we have our Cricut Explore Air 2 giveaway that is live, and it's live until the 24th of January, so even if you're watching after this evening after we're live, you can still enter until midnight on Friday. So in order to enter, all you need to do is tell us what is the name of the app that is used in conjunction with your Cricut machine, and just comment on this post or this live stream with your answer. Also, we have our Cricut Make of the Month as well. Forgot to mention. So Aisha, tell everyone a little bit about that and where they can find details.
So we have a Make of the Month every month that's dedicated to Cricut. So whatever you've made, if it's a vinyl on a mug or you've made a present for someone, you can upload it onto our link that we've put up on Facebook today. Upload your entry, and this month you could win an Easy Press, and there's the Easy Press tote bag, which is really cool, a heat resistant mat. So really good prizes, and it's lovely to see all your makes. So we've been sharing a few of them. A really cool one today. So yeah.
Yep, so details of that can be found right at the top of our Facebook page. So after we're live, head on over to our Facebook page and it's pinned right at the top for you. Please do enter via the link though, not via the post, because any entries that are posted as comments won't be counted. You do need to click on the link and sort of fill in the form and upload your make into our gallery. It's really fun to just scroll through the gallery as well.
Great to get inspiration,
I know.
see what other people are doing.
Yep, you guys are very talented, and of course we have our regular Make of the Month as well, but if you are uploading something that's Cricut specific, why not head over to the Cricut Make of the Month and enter there, because there's some Cricut goodies to be won. Also, last but not least, our workshop. We have so much information because we're so excited about Cricut. But we have our one-to-one workshops, which have been going down a treat. So we have a few more slots, don't we, Aisha?
Yes, so the final one for the month is next Wednesday, and I've checked and there are a few slots left. So if you've not booked on, really do go. And if you if you've got a machine and not got it out of the box, go, and the colleagues will help you get it out of the box, get making, any questions you have, take those along. And you can book onto one of those. So there's some next Wednesday.
Great, and you don't need to actually take your Cricut machine, do you?
No, so there's a machine there. I mean, if you want to.
Yeah, just lug it into
Take
store.
It out for a little trip.
Yeah, but they're free, so do take this opportunity, because the feedback that we've been receiving has been all round positive, and our colleagues are very happy to help, and it's a sort of a new initiative, isn't it? We've sort of newly launched them this year, so definitely get involved if you're interested. But in the meantime, as we wrap up, don't forget to head over to our Instagram page where we're about to go live there. And obviously, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Aisha for taking us through all of these wonderful tips and tricks. And don't forget to head on over to Get Started in Cricut, which is a sort of bespoke page where you can find all of this information and also project ideas as well. Because we did have a lot of questions around project ideas and inspiration, but stay tuned on our Facebook page over the next few months, where we're going to be sharing lots of brand new projects that you can see. Yeah, that was a good one. So all of this is going to be on our brand new ideas hub, where you can find step-by-step tutorials that Aisha has kindly treated us to for the new season. So stay with us, and of course we will see you over on Instagram very soon. Thank you and have a lovely evening. Bye.